Hi, I'm Tom. I work at Insights Consulting, where I'm head of research communities, and my talk will be on how to bring consumers in the boardroom through communities and how to present data coming from research communities. Because communities, it's a great research technique. It's always on research, and consumers are really acting as part-time marketers, which makes it a great experience for participants. And it delivers great insights to companies, but still I think the research technique is just a means to an end. And that end goal is making it also an experience at the company side, making that people will actually do something with the insights they gathered from a community. Because in the end, great research should take companies forward and bring change in the hearts, minds, and actions of marketers, R&Ders, and employees. The hearts, that's how they feel about consumers. The minds, that's how they think and how they think consumer-centric. And the actions is that they actually do something with what they have learned. The question is, are we ready as a profession? Are we ready as market research industry to really engage an internal audience? And what will it take in terms of adapting our toolkit and our skill sets? And if we are honest, I think creating real engagement in boardrooms, creating real engagement when doing debriefings, that will be quite difficult to realize, because we are all living now in a world of, on the one hand, information overload, and on the other hand, we are, let's say, detracted all the time from what's really important. Think back of your latest meeting, of your latest debrief, how many people were really engaged, how many people were really listening. So on the one side, we have a great new research technique that delivers great insights, that delivers great output. It's an experience for participants, but we have to make it an experience for the people at the client side too. But that will not be easy. So we thought, let's take a look at what's the DNA of impactful research. What's the DNA of research that is really used by the people we are doing research for? And we did that based on a project we did together with Unilever, where we had the opportunity to confront more than 400 people, research users, with research data, and we also had the opportunity to do a pre and a post test to really see what did the data do to people and what made that they afterwards did something with what they had learned. And to be quite straightforward, what did we learn? We learned that it has to be inspirational, that it has to show consumers how they really are so that they can engage with the consumer world, and that it brings data to the table that is worth sharing with colleagues, that is a conversation starter at the coffee corner, at the water cooler. And that will make that research is really used. And we also saw, and it was quite striking to me, that, let's say, the old metrics of using research, that it's credible, that it's based on solid research techniques, that becomes more like a hygiene factor. Yes, it's important, but it's not what will make that we will use research. I think the real key is, like I said before, make it an experience, also in the boardroom, also at the client side. And we believe that you need a staged approach to make it an experience, and in the end to really bring change in a company by the fact that people start using research data. It's engaging people, it's inspiring them afterwards, and activate them to really make change happen and to take action. I will guide you through those 3 steps and give illustrations on what we do with research data, with especially data and output coming from research communities, to make sure that in the end something happens. First step is creating engagement. In creating engagement, one of the most important things is that at the client side you have an ambassador for your research community project, because he or she will be the real driving force behind the project at the client side. That's the one who makes people enthusiastic about the project. That's the one who starts the conversation about the project. Next to that, if you do a kickoff, don't take 1 hour or 2 hours to understand the challenges of the company. No, take half a day, take a full day. Try to talk with all the internal stakeholders. And why not? When you understand all the challenges, drink a beer with them afterwards. That's a great start of a project, because in a community project, although it only takes 3 weeks or 3 months or even a year, what is important is that the kickoff project makes already your internal people very enthusiastic about what you're going to do. And even for a project that we are conducting at the moment, we went one step further. It's with an advertising agency, and to be honest, as a researcher, you don't know that well how advertising agencies work. So we changed job for a week. We went over there and we were working together with them to fully understand what are the day-to-day challenges, and to know what type of data, what type of results, what type of insights do these people really need from consumers working together in a community. We can also engage employees already with the consumer world before the project has actually started. In that same project that I already talked about for Unilever, before we started, and based on the intake survey in which we had asked stories and pictures from consumers, we played a game with the people internally to take a look at how well do you know consumers. And based on the gaps, the information gaps that came out of the game, we built our topic guide. So we not only make that people are enthusiastic from the start, we also try to see what will be relevant to them. And that will make that in the end, they will listen to you. They will take action. Before we start a community, we also do a briefing session, not only at the client side, but also in smaller groups with the people who are part of the community in the chat session. Well, ask your client, ask his or her internal clients to join one of those sessions, not to get first insights, but to see how enthusiastic your customers, your participants, and of course their customers are about what they are going to do. And that enthusiasm will make them enthusiastic too. That's the first step, creating engagement. Second step is inspiring employees. Inspiring starts with giving them access to the community and trying to push them to really log on to the community a couple of times a week. Not to already grasp all the insights, no, just to be inspired by the real verbatims. Be inspired by consumers directly. And how can you, let's say, not force them, but inspire them and make that they go to the community, log on to read what consumers say, by giving them already sparks of inspiration, by making them curious. And how do we do that? We try to have posters in the coffee corner within the company with quotes, with first facts, making them curious. We can bring internal news website online where there are like small pieces of information about what's happening in the community. Sometimes, if, let's say, social media is a tool that is allowed to use within the company, we even make a Facebook profile, and that Facebook profile brings information into the company. First, sparks of inspiration. to make them already think, to make them engage with the consumer world, and to make them curious what will happen at the end during that final workshop. People who are quite active during the community at the client side, why not praise them? Why not reward them? We work with Heinz on a large community project, and the marketers who engage most with the consumer world, they get some kind of award. There is a leaderboard, and every month the award goes to the one who is on top of the leaderboard, who is engaging the best, who is engaging the most with the consumer world. So the second step is inspire them. Inspire them along the way. And last but not least, and probably the most important step, is after you have engaged them, after you have already offered some first sparks of inspiration, activate them. Activate them to make change happen within the company. And here I think it's quite important that we go beyond that 30-minute debrief. We started with a workshop of half a day or even a day. Let's also end the project with a workshop at the client side, and let's take our time for that. What I try to do in most of the cases is try to really bring the consumer in the boardroom. This is a picture, a real picture of a project that we did with a big retailer of beauty products. And during the project, we asked the people within the community to make a collage and take pictures of it, or even send it to postal service towards us. We had more than 100 collages about how do I see well-being and beauty as a young female. And what did we do? In the room where the final workshop took place, we hang up all those collages on the wall. And when the people came into the workshop, we said, take a coffee, just walk around and take a look at your consumer and how they think about your products. That's the first start again to, even within that final workshop, start with a little moment of engaging with the consumer world. Of course, it's also important that you share insights, that you inspire the people. But why not doing that in a fun way? Why not doing that also in an engaging way? Why not also making that an experience? We try to make it fun by sometimes organizing a quiz. So you know, these are my 5 key takeaways. Why not making it questions? Why not activating the minds of the people who are listening, that they can think for themselves first and afterwards maybe be surprised with what the real answer is. And finally, it's of course important that we move from results to actions. This is also a picture where the CMO and the CEO of a company are really taking action with ideas coming from consumers and insights coming from consumers. And what we did after this, when they picked out the insights that they want to work with, the ideas that they wanted to work with, we really sit down together with them and with their marketing people, and we really moved from what can we do with these insights? What can we do with this idea? Can we make a concept board of it, and can we push it towards your next concept screener? So don't only engage them, don't only inspire them, but also make sure that when they leave the room, after that half a day, after that day, that they know what to do. And a final example is this one. This is from a community we're currently running. It's Crushed Ice. It's with 100 Gen Yers, and we believe that it are the coolest Gen Yers on the planet, or at least the coolest Gen Yers that want to take part in market research projects from the 15 hottest cities around the globe. And one of the things that we do is trend watching and trend spotting to make marketeers engage with Gen Y. And we will not leave marketeers only with a great report and some infographics. We will also make some kind of city guides of each of the 15 cities that were involved in the project. So if a marketer that is focusing on Gen Y wants to walk his talk, wants to know how Gen Y lives in those cities, well, take our city guide and go eat where they eat, sleep in the places they recommend, and do the things they do. I think that's what market research will make that market research will be used. It's creating engaging experiences that not only inspire, but are also worth sharing. And if research becomes a conversation starter, research will be used in the end. So I hope you're ready, and if you have questions, I'm happy to take them through Twitter, because it's not a matter of yes we can, it's a matter of yes we will. I think this is the only way forward for market research and for our industry to make that we stay relevant in the future. Thank you.